Look, there we go. Let's do this. It is Snute versus Clem. Just getting set up and ready to go here on 16-bit for map number 1. Getting this ready to rumble. To the top right-hand side, we do have our blue Terran player from XDD Sports. This, my friends, is Clem. And he is sending his SCVs across the map, getting ready to get some damage done. To the bottom left-hand side is the red Zerg player from Team Liquid. It's Snute. What's up, KJ, my man? Lucky9 with the 9-month resub. Go, Wardy, go. Well, thank you so much for the 9 months. Do appreciate you. I'm loving the chat for KJ, guys. Hey, Wardy, are you at home? Story come on Thursday. I didn't see my name on any announcement. That's because I'm not important enough to be announced. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Basically, Naruto's just like, oh, Wardy's going to show up anyways, so he'll just cast some games. So it isn't really an announcement if he's just going to show up and pay his own way there, you know? So I'm just like, yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess so. It's not. They're not wrong. Officially, they don't know I'm going, you know? So, what can I say? Barracks are on the way up, and Snute did not see this, but he leaves this Overlord out the front to keep an eye on what's going on. Let's see if Clem can pick up a quick first game here after he did lose his first series against True just there, 1-2. So again, this setting up and ready to go. First bunkers are going to come down in the very near future. Marine coming in from behind as well, and we are going to be having this setup getting rolling. A few drones pulling forward, so Snute getting ready to try and defend this. The Marine's sitting behind the bunker, so it's like, okay, just going to back away from this here. Now the issue for Snute is he doesn't know if this is 2 or 3 racks just yet, and that makes the defense difficult, because if it's 3 racks, which it is, going Ravages and giving up the natural expansion isn't so bad, but if it's a 2 base, then it is a little bit more, you know, you can't really, or not 2 base, but if it's a 2 racks, is always going to be a little bit messy. So, you know, if you try and go Ravages, you give up the natural against the 2 racks, it's just not a good response. You need to completely, you know, respond completely differently, which makes this a little bit more difficult to kind of figure out. Looks like Snute's playing this patiently, just going to sit in the main. Doesn't go for the Ravages, but still, again, he can afford to give that up. And Snute will take himself the hatchery in the main base, in the kind of the in-base natural. Kind of crazy that Clem actually went for this, just, you know, rolling on the fact that Snute will expand to the low ground here, which is a fair assumption. I mean, Zergs do it a lot of the time because it helps them out a little bit in terms of just taking this base more easily whenever they need to without having to be annoyed by a Reaper or anything. So it does make some sense as we get this going. Do we have Pommy in one of these lobbies? No, Pommy isn't here. Okay, good. I was worried for a moment that we just left him out of both the games. Anyways, an SCV popping up in towards the main base, seeing what's going on. We'll just see the expansion coming down from Snute, which is good to know. As we are just going to be seeing the Queen picking off that SCV. So SCV gets taken down, and we do have these racks heading up in towards the upper right-hand side. People asking about Group A. Group A is not completed because we had tiebreakers, and we will be playing the tiebreakers tomorrow, 1 hour before the playoffs. So that's going to be happening tomorrow. Nothing too crazy. Just look at Snute, by the way. Has a hatchery, but doesn't actually have that many drones or any intention of really using it here, I don't think. Fully going to commit to a Bane Bust across the map, and, well, I think this is very visible to us right now. Link speed's ready, the Bane and this is ready. Maybe he does drone this up. He's going to run past these Marines. So Clem will see those Lings coming across. Will he start up a bunker? I mean, it kind of feels like he has to, but what does he put in it? There's no Marines at home. 1 Marine starting. These barracks are building add-ons. It's going to be seeing the factory is going to be finishing in a moment or 2 as well. These Lings are arriving in the 3rd base. And again, I mean, you morph in Banes here, right? You've got the gas for 8 of them. You just go, go, go. You bust through this, and there is no unit in the base of Clem right now. 1 Marine! Okay, guys. 5 Banelings hit the front wall, and there's going to be 4 left over, plus Lings. Does the 1 Marine have a chance? I'm going to give you a spoiler. The answer is no. All 3 depots go down as well, which supply blocks Clem from any further units. The 1 Marine, no! He doesn't deserve the whole army on him. As Bane's running over here. I mean, Clem's going to make an attempt to push forwards over here, but even the Spine Crawler alone will have a pretty good time defending, as those Lings are just going huge. Banes are still chasing around, looking for some connections. Gets one of them low. And his Ling is still working away over here too. The Spike Crawler holds on with a few reinforcements, and Snute is looking pretty, sitting pretty. Great response to the free racks towards game number 2 of the Terran versus Zerg, though, as we do have to the upper left-hand side of the map our red Zerg player who takes that game number 1 of that counter Baneling Burst post free racks. It is, from Team Liquid, Snute. Really glad Snute came and took part in this event. He actually qualified for the tournament, which was even more awesome because we got to see him play in the qualifiers. He was actually on my list of invites because I feel as though the last few tournaments I've had, I just haven't invited Snute for not really any reason in particular, just sort of, there's so many Zergs to pick from when you're inviting players that Zergs are like the least needed race to kind of fill, you know, so it's like, it's so easy to get Zergs that sometimes you have to rotate around them. It just feels that I hadn't invited Snute for a while, so great to see Snute qualifying, really happy to have him here. As we do have to the bottom right hand side, the blue Terran player from XCD Sports. This is Clem. So game number 2 of this, guys, and seeing if Clem will bounce back just a little bit, or if Snute has more shenanigans planned. I mean, for now, it doesn't look like it. Hatch, gas, and pool. I mean, we say Snute has shenanigans planned. Obviously, his kind of follow-up here was more so just a reaction to the opening of Clem, rather than like, aha, I'm going to Bane Bust you. Obviously, it was a very effective reaction, though, and it did get the job done to bring Snute that first game. Reaper on the way up right now in the main base of Klem, so he's getting that set up and ready to go as this Overlord just heading down towards the bottom right hand side. Command Center will start from Klem right now on the natural, so again the Command Center ready to go. Orbital morphing in on the main base, and we will see another supply depot from Klem also just getting set up on this ramp. So another depot coming through on the ramp. Reaper will pop, and the Marine to follow it up pretty quickly. There's no SCV scout or anything by Clem, so just getting the Marine in case there's a couple of Lings here. It just helps to clean those up and to keep the command center building, rather than having to bring the Reaper all the way back. If it's 6 Lings, you'll still need that Reaper most likely, but with 2, you know, it's just a little bit more manageable. Whereas if there's no Marine at all, then you have to, you know, CC gets delayed a significant amount, so it is kind of crazy the difference it makes. Bless me. Oh dear, bless me again. Got some sneezes going on today, guys. But yeah, I mean, Reaper comes across the map. 6 Lings are sat waiting, as we would kind of expect. And here on Dreamcatcher, we're kind of just waiting to see where the third hatchery is going to be coming down in the near future more than anything. We'll hope to see if there is going to be an attempt to take the third hatch. So watching for that as we do see the Reaper getting out of there still alive. And just trying to push the Lings back as much as possible to maximize the efforts here. Link speed on the way up in the main base at the moment as this Queen does come forwards and will be taking down the Reaper in the next couple of moments. So Reaper just has to be a little bit cautious at the moment now, as we're going to be seeing another drone about to pop. Starport on the way up in the main base of Clem. Tech Lab build on the barracks and still waiting to see what sort of direction he's going to take this in. What I find so interesting about Snute versus Clem is this is a series where we have 2 players who really do like the late game. You know, Snute always plays for the late game, if given the opportunity, right? I mean, obviously in the last game, he saw the opportunity to end the game right then and there, and Clem gave him that chance. But Snute's not usually the guy in ZvT, especially to be like, okay, well, you know what, I am just going to throw it all into Roachling all in, and see what happens, and hope you don't scout, and hope you don't respond properly. No, Snute is the player who's like, okay, well, I'm going to take my bases. If you're going to do something weird to me, obviously I have to be ready to deal with that. But if you're not going to do something weird, I'm super happy to play late. I'm super happy for this to go along. And the thing is, so is Clem. He is the player who will sit back. He will build up Ghost Slave. Yes, it's good. We see a lot of Terran players doing that nowadays. But Clem was really one of the Terran players to truly embrace this and to really push for those games, even if he had other choices. You know, even if he had the chance to end the game right here and now, he would still build in towards that kind of, you know, Ghost Liberator style. He would already have his Ghost on the way, even though it feels like it's still just the mid-game or so. As we do see those couple of Hellions still just holding the front. Meanwhile, in true DNS, True was pretty good at holding the attack of DNS initially, and right now his counter-attack is really causing some chaos. He's just pushed his way through into the natural, and it looks as though True is going to be picking up game number 1 of this in the near future. If not game number 1, then he's looking very good to at least take a very big lead in the game, and to kind of play it out from there, as he's just killed the Voider with Corrosive Bars as well. So True looking pretty fantastic. Even if he gets cleaned up, he's coming out of that with quite the advantage. So looking good for our Zerg player from Korea, if you're cheering him on right now over in his second best of 3 of the day. Double engineering bay on the way up right now from Clem. A couple of extra barracks coming through too, and we are going to be seeing the stim pack upgrade currently on the way up right now also. Factory going to move over to the tech lab. Starport moves off to the right hand side and we'll drop down a reactor. And we do have one more barracks here ready to just drop onto a reactor too. So everything kind of as expected, I suppose. Cleans out a few creep tumors with this scan, which is nice. I mean, Hellions are good at slowing down creep, but they're not usually very good at kind of actually cleaning out creep. But nothing contest them there for a few moments. Maybe they'll poke in now to try and get some of these new creep tumors and just force the team to spend yet another 25 energy. Melee upgrades coming up as well right now, and in general the upgrade count is looking pretty even at the moment here. Hellions do get a full surround and going to be able to pick off this queen, so queen does fall. We do have this queen just continuing on over, starts to target down one of those banshees. So banshee's taking some damage, and they'll actually turn around right here and try and come back in. Start to target down a queen actually, and we'll be able to get a kill if there's no transfuse. Suddenly these plug banshees causes some chaos. Snute, a little bit of mishap here as he misses another transfusion. And that's a little bit of a pain. So now he's also going to lose some creep. And again, obviously after losing 2 queens, the last thing you want to have to do is replace creep spread. And oh, he just lost so many of his active tumors as well. Hellions really controlling this map with the banshees. And really, Clem doing everything he can to stop Snute from taking too much control. Being a nest on the way down here from Snute, then that's going to be wrapping up very shortly as we confirm the 1-1 upgrades as well. Snute with the lair finished. I mean, now we see whether he goes into the Spire or the Hydra's Den. Snute is the kind of player that changes things up. He has been playing a lot of Link-Bane Hydra lately, but there's an infestation pit. And there we go. He does like to change things up. He likes to play multiple styles, and here on Dreamcatcher, it looks like he might just be aiming for the very fast Ultralisks. Just try and, bypass the, Hydra phase of this game. Might even add on a couple of Infestors too. It's something we saw a little bit earlier from one of the Zerg players, Dark, when we were casting the Korean tournament just earlier on today. Meanwhile, just a quick update. We'll hold that for because right now this push comes in. Clem's pushing on through into the lair, so actually suddenly Snute is caught without really the unit he needs to defend this. And he's continuing to deal quite a bit of damage. Lings are waiting for the opportunity to pounce. Tanks helping out where they can. The Queens are not able to get far enough forward to really help with the Banshees just yet. And that lair is getting very low. A couple of Banes coming in, but they get dealt with by the tanks. These Marines continue to kite backwards. Clem, combat shields moments away, splits away from the final Baneling. And that hatchery is just so low. The lair even so low. It could go down any second right now. As you see these Marines still trying to fight. A couple of tanks will fire away. Actually toning it down the Banelings, of course, is working wonders. As we do see, finally, the Spore Crawler moving into position. Finally, Snute might be able to push this back, but oh, it's going to be costly. I mean, we're still talking about another couple of Queens have just gone down. As these Lings go for the siege tanks around, they killed off as well. Wow, Klem really pushing forwards and getting some damage done there. Nicely done. Meanwhile, I was just going to tell you guys that True has just taken game number 1 against DNS. So True taking game 1 of that series was looking, looking as though it was going to be expected after we saw that group of our units just getting rampaged in DNS's natural. So DNS has dropped map number 1, and True takes the lead over in that ZvP, which is running simultaneously with our Zerg versus Terran, which we'll resume with now. Clem unloading and getting ready to clean up a few more of these creep tumors. Stepping forwards, we're going to see a couple of creep tumors already picked off right here. And a little bit of Link-Bane continue to come forwards as well. Marines lift up. And we will just see this creep jump on over to the other side of that wall at the moment. Again, these Marines thinking about where they want to go. 13 Marines in total at the moment, and they are, in the end, going to turn around and back away. 2 more medevacs up through the center of the map, looking to see what their next role of this is going to be. Marines unloading to the left side. I mean, I like it. So far, the drops are keeping Snute busy. They're stopping Snute from really kind of getting too much of a chance to just sit back and relax. Snute has to come straight into Hive. He didn't bother with any Infestors or anything along those lines. As these Marines need to lift up. There we go. Got there eventually. Meanwhile, Marines in the center will stim in, and the scan will start cleaning out some of the creep tumors. Going back just a little bit further, but again, Clem very good at retaining his units, and I always talk about retention of units here with these drops, and it is such an important feature because, if you have a drop that kills a few units, that's great, but then if you don't get out with any of your units yourself, was the drop really worthwhile just to trade? A lot of the times the answer to that is no. This is worthwhile. There's a lot of Queens going down, all 4 of them over here. And the Marines get up and out of there. Still got a few Lings underneath this drop though, and Clem will be able to unload towards this gold mineral line, though. Snute losing vision of those, and so the auto-follow is not quite working for him any longer. Why is the lair on the third base? That's Lucidity Dark. Not really any reason in particular, I guess. A lot of the time, I was talking about this the other tape, but I remember way back in IPL, the first time I ever saw a lair not being on the main base was actually when Nurture was doing it, and Nurture was regarded as a bit of a absolute kind of mastermind then, because what we figured was that, well, by building the third base as the lair and the hive, etc., it actually gives it more health, so that base is most likely to be attacked. So it's a bit of a risk, but it has a risk and reward where you get more HP. So actually, in a way, this base is a lot safer as a lair or a hive, but of course you do run the risk of then losing the lair or the hive. Just taking a couple more hits right here. A little bit of Lingbane up top, ready to push into this army. Clem still has one medevac units down to the south, or off to the west I should say, on the south side of the Zerg's control of the map at least. We'll knock down these rocks initially. Clem pushing into a similar position he was in before. See, before he was kind of set up here, pushing in there. If he pushes top right now, there's a lot of units out of position as they were expecting to maybe swoop through the center and upward. Although that's it as well, there's actually a fair amount that's not too crazily out of position. As you're going to be seeing a scan coming down, and Clem's going to see this army in the top right now. He has to pull away in towards the siege tanks. He will be off creep, so this should start to turn out a little bit better for him than it maybe was originally kind of expected to go. And I think Clem is going to win this fight, because without any more banelings, you'd be surprised at how fast those Lings and Hydras go down. The Hydras, especially with nothing in front of them, they actually become way less useful than you would expect. And they only have +1 missile attack, the Hydras, so it's not like they're putting out a huge amount of damage in the meantime, as these Marines have come back into play. Ling is popping out though, Medivac will fall to the Spore Crawler unfortunately. Clem gets it to half HP, which maybe he can capitalize on a little bit later. But for the moment, Snute is continuing to hold, as we do see these Medivacs are going to just pull themselves away. And he is just going to go back home to his full-on unit-based production. Keeping the Medivacs alive, one of the most important things, because if he's starting to build Liberators, the last thing Clem wants to do right now is lose Medivacs and have to stop Liberator production to start reproducing Medivacs. That's going to be really painful for him. So, not letting that happen, stopping that from being a kind of a feature here. As we do just have him setting up back at home, and this is the stage where things will start to go a little bit late game. This is that sort of point where these players are going to sit back. Clem especially is going to sit back and build up that ghost count. Snute is not going to go rushing in towards his defensive terror, and that's not how Snute plays. He'll just try and play the macro here. So this is getting in towards that sort of scarily late stage where these players could really start playing for an hour or so on any map. And considering it's Dreamcatcher, we really could be in for a long one, as Marines here turned away by Ultralists already. No kindness plating yet, but it's not needed for just pure Marines. Yeah, they can do some damage to the Ultras, but they'll also just get absolutely destroyed by Ultras, so they do not want to stick around, try and kite or anything along those lines. Lots of sensor towers up, by the way. There's one here, and then there's one just a bit further south. I like that one, a little bit of a crossover. Off over here, one to the left as well. Just gives Clem full idea of any sort of position which Snute is trying to push into. And we are going to be seeing now his 5th base is heading down to this bottom left-hand side. That's going to be unloading and landing in the next few moments. A couple more Ghosts are still up in production. These Marines once more in trouble. Ultras do get a swipe off and brings a lot of them down to orange and red health. Clem was very smooth to actually lift those back up and to save them. As we do have the +3 melee, +2 missiles from Snute coming through. Top right from Snute has that gold base, remember, and that is going to be one of the defining features on this map. These bases, which are not really belonging to either player. Yes, Clem has his own 5 bases now, but Snute has his own 5 bases, plus a gold base that isn't really his or Clem's. Obviously right now he's making it his, but that's where the issue arises for Clem. If he can't deny those bases, he's going to have to trade super efficiently to make up for the lack of income and the lack of minerals, which he won't have from not mining those. So something that Clem has to keep at least in his mind. You know, if he lets this one get mined out, fine. This one, obviously a bit of an issue. You know, if he takes the bottom 2 bases and, you know, Snute takes these ones, you know, in the end it might be okay. But you gotta remember there's also less minerals on these bases. So actually, in the long term, while the gold minerals give you a boost in, you know, how quickly your income's coming in, the blue mineral bases will just straight up give you more income by the time you've mined it all out. So once you've mined everything, you know, that's the sort of point we're talking about right there, as we do see Lings running to the left. Actually, this Ghost Marine army pretty nearby, just drops a stim instantly. So many medevacs up in the sky still. Again, he didn't really lose any of those throughout the earlier fights. So you're going to see him attempt to start pushing forward. He snipes down a bit, and I guess the only thing he can get his hands on for the Ghost. Another scan for some creep spread. Banes continue to come down to the south. Hydra's off to the left as well. A couple of Ultras too. Fusion Core on the way up in the main base. We are going to see that Liberator range upgrade, the advanced ballistics coming through. And that stage from Snute, what I am worried about, he's still on Lingbane Hydra Ultra. It's this sort of stage where these ghost counts grow, the Liberator count grows. This is when Snute needs to maybe think about moving away from Lingbane Hydra Ultra and maybe in towards a composition more accustomed to actually dealing with the Liberator Ghost. It's actually funny because a lot of Lingbane's actually pretty good against against the Ghost and so on, but I think there's too many tanks and Liberators to really make that happen. I guess we'll see here very soon, but I would just love to see the Spire at least coming down so he has that option of Brood Lords here eventually. Maybe a few Vipers coming into play. This is nice though, I mean denying this space of Klem is going to shut down some of this economy. Hydras and Zerglings of Snute coming back up towards the top side of the map. Our upgrade does just finish. 30 more Zerglings on the way out here. Command centers continuing to come on through. We are going to be seeing a few more Lingers Ultras continue to take some shots here. Tanks will get taken down as well. Hydras continue to come down to the south. Ayo coming over to the left. Clem. Difficult, you know, finding it difficult, I feel, to kind of rotate around at the same speed at which Snute is. He isn't really seeing his opponent coming from a distance, and because of that, he isn't really kind of, you know, already in position every time. With so much creep on the top side of the map, obviously, it's not really pushed, I mean, it's pushed towards the middle, but it's not super far forwards. But because of the layout of the map, it just means Snute can run through his own base very quickly, and suddenly be on an entirely different side of the map. Now, there is going to be that command center missing here, and the Ghost Academy with Cloak on it actually might go down as well to those Zerglings. I say actually, I think it will just before Cloak is done. A few seconds away. It's actually really close. It was about 4 seconds off by the time it actually did get taken down there. So at fours, we're going to be seeing these Marines under some fire from Hydras and Ultras. Snipes coming down on some of these Hydralisks. Actually quite a bit of damage being done right there, as we do see still pushing in. Marines, Marauders, seeing what else they can do. Tanks firing away. We see another couple of Zerglings getting picked off right now, as we see another Queen also taken down. So another Queen taken down, as we see Ultras, Banes, Hydras, all of this coming in towards the center of the map, and we will see this hatchery on the far left. It will fall. So hatchery goes down here, and we just have, oh, nice pick off. So something that denies Snute's economy is something which we were talking about before. Something needs to be done to slow Snute somewhere along the way, right? Oh no, the Ghosts are being rolled into by Banelings, and there isn't any Marine Marauder to really tank for these Ghosts. These Ghosts are in some trouble. Keeping that higher Baneling count is starting to really work wonders, especially when we saw Clem just out of position, and I guess that's why Snute is staying on the Lingbane Hydra Ultra, because it's mobile, and on this map especially, the mobility is super worthwhile for him, because he's able to keep on catching Clem out of position, going to the right when he's meant to be on the left, Snute hitting the left side, then suddenly when Clem does rotate to the right. These repositions of Snute are working wonders, and Clem is just currently unable to keep up with it. Now Clem did establish bottom left hand side, so he's still on the 5 bases. But remember, Snute is mining out of gold bases at the moment too, so his mineral come is pretty much unstoppable for a little while here. As now Clem will try and take the opportunity to do something of the same, which is to push in the upper right hand side, while Snute is maybe focused elsewhere. This is the issue though, because right now it's not like Clem can just be like, aha, I'm going to bring half my army down to the left side and kind of go there with some of my army too. What are you going to do about that? That's the sort of maneuver Snute can pull. I mean, Clem, if he wants to, he can load up a drop of reinforcements, but that's pretty much as close as it's going to get. As we do have, oh, this is going to deny the gold bases though, so Snute is going to be drained of some income. And not having this income and having lost this bottom left base, suddenly Snute only has, what, like, you know, one base of mining essentially, with 8 patches, 4 patches here and 4 patches here. He only has like 1 base of income suddenly. Yes, okay, the gas income's a bit different. It means that this is very playable for Clem. It means it's a very achievable sort of goal to kill off one army and then to outmine Snute. And that's exactly what he's already doing with the bottom left-hand side of the map covered in his planetary fortresses. Yes, this base is going to change things, obviously, as that comes back online. And so is the fact that Clem might be about to lose this base as well. Again, he's just not fast enough. We need kind of like, we need like Terrans to like, you know, I don't even know. Get like roller skates or something so they can roll down to the other side of the map quickly enough. Really nice snipes picking off a whole bunch of Hydras, as we will see These last few SCVs getting picked away at, and more of this army still from Clem continue to come in towards the upper left-hand side. All of this just moving around here from Snute. Sorry guys, my Skype has taken itself off of busy. Do apologise for that. Just going to put that back on. It's been a bit weird, Skype, the last few days. It's that sort of stage where suddenly it's like, you know what, I'm not going to do what I usually do. Thanks Skype, appreciate it. Well, Ling, Hydra, Ultras, Bane's going to head on over to the right hand side. Now this siege tank pulling up the ramp here from Clem is maybe going to, well, he straight up does get surrounded. He loses the orbital command on the natural as well. Clem still needs to take some good fights. The Banes again causing an issue. Snipes starting to line on up. There's actually a burrowed Ultralisk here. Scan doesn't reveal that. Snipes on the outro do mean that the Ghosts are picking up quite a few kills. Does Clem ever replace the Ghost Academy? Must have done, right? Yeah, he did. Just making sure that it wasn't still just the Ghost that he had from before. Economy, 39 SCVs to 63 drones. Snute takes the central base. Obviously, Clem lost this bottom left base just recently. And we're still moving in towards the upper right-hand side once again here. Scan coming down, and Snute is going to continue moving around as well with his army. Siege tank is about to pop up on the main base. And we are going to be seeing this Liberator, Advanced Ballistics, going to be finishing up too. These Zerglings trying to push forwards, but not able to. They're going to get a few of these Marine kills at you already, so that's some nice pickoffs here. Going to be seeing these couple Marines in a Siege tank taking some hits as well. I mean, just as Clem lands this base down here, guess who's already ready to take it down? Yes, his name begins with S and it ends in Newt. Snute looking good right now as he just stops this base from landing properly. Doesn't really let that come into play at all. Meanwhile, guys, just as a quick update, going to picture the last few moments of True versus DNS here, as True seems to be a little bit overwhelming. He already killed the third base, and he's looking as though he's about to kill the fourth as well. DNS commits to a fight that he just is not going to win. Too much Roach Ravager from True right now. It looks as though he's going to be able to clean up DNS's army there. True looking good at the moment. And that means DNS will be 1-1, Bly 0-1, True will be 2-0. Clem is looking as though he might be 0-2, and obviously Snute is about to start off his day with a victory in his first series, because that is this series right now. Last few units go down there, you see True does take that game 2 and the series against DNS. Hydras and Ultra working their way through these rocks at the moment. Just getting that set up and going. We'll buy over to the right hand side. Hatchery does get killed off right now. More Lings towards the bottom left. Just going to see some Lingers just going to jump onto this base as well. So he's going to work his way through this, reduce you to the upper right. The layer going down. Top right. I mean, again, it's really a battle of economy at this moment. This is still pretty close. I just feel like Snute has had just that little bit more, and he's getting his bases back up just a little bit more frequently and for a little bit longer every time. It's going to be seen as he is trying to repair this orbital. Lings, Hydras working their way through these couple of rocks. Hatchery is just moments away from finishing up once again, giving Snute some of that income back as he's about to max out here. Clem is still just wandering around with such an expensive army that if he loses this, it's irreplaceable. A lot of Liberators, though, makes it difficult for him to lose it. And that's the thing, it is still a difficult army to clean out, and that's why Snute's been so cautious about this. 25 minutes into game number 2. It's exactly what I expected when I lined up Snute Clem here today. Expected a nice long series, expected some really great games. Game 1 was maybe a bit of a letdown, but game 2 making up for it at the moment. Coming all the way around the right side. Again, this defensive position from Clem, it allows him to stay strong in this location. It allows him to stand steady without issue. And it means that Snute can't break this position, but it does mean Snute can take bottom left bases because Clem's army is positioned in the top right. So while you know, really secure one position as Clem, he doesn't have enough units to just split up and, you know, hold elsewhere as well. And that's the issue, because where does he go from here? Well, he wants to hold top right, he has to start holding gold bases, but that's on Zerg creep spread, and that's not going to be easily done. And drop turned away by Snute as well, as we've just seen. Snute 50 drones to the 35 SCVs of Clem right now, as some Marines will turn around. They'll pick off one drone already. Ling's already here for the surround. Will actually be doing a good enough job to clean up the majority of this, although just a couple more Lings would have done the job. There he goes. They roll on in. It's a very quick affair. This Medivac trying to come back in, but targeted by a Queen for a little while. Low on health now as well, and that Medivac is also pretty close to getting picked off here once and for all. If you're AFK drones, something Snute will have to try and fix. Clem finding the confidence to get onto the map once again right now. Liberators will continue to siege up right here, and we are going to be seeing a few Zerglings getting picked away at. He's going to get us around. Siege Tank will die. More Banes and a couple of Hydras and Ultras to the right hand side as well. Continue to work their way through this. We do see the extra Marines here of Clem continue to fight away. I mean, he's actually doing a lot of these drops and pushes once again. I mean, he's denied another base. Suddenly, army supplies dead even once more. Snute. He needs to find a fight like right now when there's Zerg players on siege, 10 players on siege. Finds himself 2 Liberators, and this might be the mistake from Clem. Tanks are out of position. The Ghosts are not far enough back just yet to start lining up the snipes. Medivacs go down, and Snute will be happy with that. After losing a base, he makes up for it by killing off a significant amount of army. Tank coming in on the main base right now. Liberator and a Medivac being produced as well. Hatchery top right underway too. Lings, Banes, Ultras, and Hydras all gathering up. As you do see some Liberators continuing up the right hand side. A few more Marines and tanks setting up as well now. There we go, more Liberators getting ready to go, and we will see these Hydras starting to target them down. There's a big push in from Snute. The Marines and Ghosts are so clumped up. The Ghosts are in so much trouble right now, but Snute actually is starting to lose quite a few units. As he turns around here, he doesn't have much to run away with, and he doesn't have much in the bank either. I thought everything was going to die, but somehow the Banelings didn't connect on anything that they needed to, and that is going to be GG. Clem takes game 2. Again, thank you so much, Promethean, for the new subscription. Do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's kick this off, guys. It's 1-1 between Clem and Snute. What a game from Clem to stay alive after all of that. We have to the top left-hand side our blue Terran player from Exceed tying us up. It is Clem, and here is me talking about results in the group and how Snute was about to be 1-0, and what a turnaround he was able to make. A tough one from Snute, unable to get his bases up, unable to stay secure for long enough, and in the end unable to really be able to do much at all. And maybe just a bit of a hasty engagement considering he only had one army to make it work with. Bottom right hand side, the red Zerg player is of course from Team Liquid. It is Snute. Alright, so here's a pool first from Snute. I'd like to note here on Catalyst, the 2-player map a bit smaller, more proxy reactable. Maybe Snute just don't taking any chances against that. You know, the hatchery first defense works on 16-bit, but if it would work a second time around, well, that I'm not too sure of. Reaper currently on the way out from the barracks here, so Reaper on its way up, a couple more Lings coming out. Extractor will finish up now as well after the hatchery was completed, or started. The Extractor started to come on down here, so that's getting set up and ready to go, as we will see ZvT coming across. And a few moments of just getting this ready to roll. Again, guys, what is up with all of you today? 1,800 of you in the stream right now. Great to see you all. Great to have so many of you tuning in for some great StarCraft 2. These games are living up to it right now, in fairness. I mean, I feel like they deserve it, so great to see you guys. I'm glad you're here. Do just want to say quickly, of course, don't forget to hit that follow button if you have not already. Helps you see when we're live in the future. We're less than 300 followers away from 30,000, which is really awesome. And of course, I'd also just like to say, of course, very quickly before this game really gets going, if you do enjoy the stream, if you enjoy the content, do consider supporting the channel as well. Subscribing is $5 a month. Gets you access to our replay packs, and it directly supports these tournaments. These tournaments are put on via subscriber money. So every time you subscribe, some portion of that money goes directly into one of these tournaments to the players and to more StarCraft 2 content. So do consider that. It's a great way of supporting not just me and the channel, but the tournaments as well, and the players playing in them. And it's our second WardiTV tournament of the day. We had the invitation number 4 Group D earlier. This is our European Group B tonight. Tomorrow we have the playoffs. Just have a donation coming through as well. Give me a moment to just open that up. AC Juicy coming in with the $25. No message attached right there, but the $25 donation speaks for itself. Get some love in the chat for AC Juicy. Thank you so much for the $25. So very generous. We've had so many generous donations today. I think our donation can, I mean, you can see it, our daily goal is usually $30, and we're at like 130 right now. Pretty crazy, guys. Thank you so much for all the love. Glad you're all enjoying the content. As we will see, Clem, he's doing this build which he did against True on this map with the Cyclone and the 4 Marines in the medevac. We'll see if he's going to be able to get a cancel on Snute's third hatchery as he was on True's. I kind of feel like he shouldn't be able to, but well, I guess that's what we're going to be finding out in the near future, right? I guess that's what we will see very, very shortly. Reaper pulls off away to the right-hand side. Just going to be sat here and waiting to see what perhaps will come next. Or if he can kind of go for that distraction, right? Because that's what he did against True. He jumped into the main with the Reaper. As he jumped into the main base, that Reaper started to, you know, deal some damage. He pulled Snute just a little bit onto the right-hand side. Started to deal some damage, and meanwhile, he got this Cyclone and Marines to get some damage done as well. And right now, he's about to unload, and there isn't really many units in position. So let's see if he can get this base. Actually locks onto the Overlord right away. It's a nice little something to kind of bring him just a little bit slower down in supply. As we are going to be seeing this hatchery continue to take some hits already. About half health right here. Queens are pushing forwards over to the left-hand side. Are they going to be here in time? Transfuse isn't ready just yet. I think this is a kill on the base. I think this goes down. 1 Marine lost. This base falls, and Snute will lose his hatchery. His first series of the day. He has taken such a turn after such a convincing game 1. Suddenly game 2 isn't looking pretty. Oh my god, game 3 now is not looking great either. What's up, Task Horizon with a heart in the chat? He was one of the stream heroes earlier today already. For big donation too. Thank you so much, man. Sub, hi, my name is David with this fresh new sub as well. Snute will not find an entrance point there with the Hellions coming up. He is going to go into the Rotron though. He has got a Nidus on the way, so it looks as though Snute will turn this into an all-in. Thank you so much. Hi, my name is David. Dude, how are you doing? Thank you so much for the sub. Hope you're doing well. No, a long time since we had a little chat. We hope you're doing well. Thank you so much as we do set up into this. Hellions coming down. I mean, this is obviously getting a little bit hectic at the moment. Banshee gets caught. Heading forwards, he is going to see the Nidus network, though, and that's a big scout at the moment. And Nidus being seen, there is going to come down in the side here, right? So that's the goal, at least. A couple of queens coming forwards trying to fight this. Transfusion should come down, but Snute's distracted. Loses 1 queen, might lose a second right now, but he does kill a medevac as well. Here we go, Nidus setting up. Remember that as these units come out, there is nothing currently at home, because everything is being just hanging around, and everything is just being kind of aggressive across the map. So here we go, queens are popping out already. Yes, some SCVs come in for the surround. There's a few Marines here, but there's not everything possible. These Hellions and the Cyclone on the low ground are not really able to help out at all. But does it matter? Is there just too much from Clem? Some more roaches coming out. That might turn things around here. Overseer morphing in so you can actually get rid of this Banshee, which has been a bit of an issue momentarily. Finally, Clem realizes that these units are blocked off by the wall, and they're still blocked off. Clem's having a bit of a nightmare right now, as we are going to be seeing the tech lab falling on the factory. This Banshee's still just alive. 3 Cyclones here. Is that enough to turn this away? Well, if not, 25 workers going down might just be enough damage anyways. A few more SCVs are dropping. Hellions and Cyclones are still pushing forwards, and it looks as though Clem will push Snute back, but well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Queens continue to pop on out. Queens going at it in terms of fighting against the medevac and all the rest. Now he goes back in. Now he will lose the Nidus, but Snute has killed 28 SCVs, and if there's one way to bounce back from losing your third base, it is almost definitely by killing 28 workers. Well, this puts this game into a really interesting position. Third CC up for Clem, 20 workers behind. This is going to be interesting. True has just taken game number 1 against Bly, guys. Again, we're running games parallel at the moment, so 2 games happening at once. We'll try and keep you fully up to date with what's happening in those matches as it happens. But right now, our update is that True has taken game 1 against Bly. We didn't get a chance to show it on screen because of this. But again, what we'll also do is we'll be casting some of those replays at the end of the stream as well. So make sure you keep an eye out for those. We'll be most definitely casting the non-ZVZs, I'm sure. And maybe a couple of the ZVZs will sneak on in there as well. Game 3 of this right now, Clem and Snute. Clem going to try and do something with the dropped Cyclones. We'll clean up at least some of the creep spread, but we're going to see more of the creep going to be able to push this back. Medevac around the left-hand side here. But a moment or two of calm, so I can once again say hi, my name is David. What's up, man? Thank you again for the sub coming in. Do appreciate it. Ayoit has just came in as well with the 1,000 bits. Ayoit, thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. So generous as well. You're all being very generous today, guys. I cannot say it enough. Thank you for supporting the content. Thank you for supporting the stream. I love being here casting for you guys, and obviously you guys are continuing to help make that possible. So thank you so much. As we are going to be seeing units gathering together left side. Snute is going to be having to get ready to defend once more here. How much does he actually have? 4 Ravagers, 4 Roaches, 3 Ravagers, 8 more Roaches in production. Upgrades don't really exist on either side, so honestly these Marines are not as scary as you might usually expect. Another Corrosive Bile will drop down here, and you will see these units from Clem pulling back. I wonder how much difference this would have been if Clem had not had his Cyclones and Hellions derping on the low ground for so long. Just going to be seeing the Roach getting picked off right now. Marines still stimming forwards, and Overseer picked off. Snoot struggling a little bit. He could just do with a few more Roaches popping out. His 1-1's about to finish as well, which will really help in this fight. He does already have Roach speed, so that is a big benefit here, as we're going to be seeing Snoot's 4th base will not be denied by Cyclones like his 3rd base was for that little while. So Clem's units back away after trading up just a little bit here. His 3rd CC is now dropped in location and ready to go with the Hive from Snute on the way, just over halfway done. Snute getting this going for himself and getting this set up. And again, another few Ravagers morphing in right now, getting this ready to go also. Queens from Snute pushing the creep spread out, and we are going to be seeing these units coming forwards and able to pick off another Marine or 2. Medevac still just floundering around in the skies, not quite sure maybe where exactly it wants to go just yet. And as we will be seeing more creep just pushing out over the left-hand side. A couple of supply depots have come on up over to the right here. Factory on the way on the 3rd base as well. More Marines, the Cyclone and the Siege Tank all gathering up together. A few more Hydras, a few more Roaches continue to come on into play. We are just going to be seeing these Roaches and Ravagers continue to gather up in the center. So, getting these set up and ready, we do see the Medivacs able to be pushed away once again. Snoot's heading towards maxing out on this Roach Hydra column. I wouldn't say Clem's too far behind. I mean, naturally, any Roach-based composition will be a little bit higher up in supply, a little bit faster than the Terran armies. We are just going to be seeing the Cyclones going away off over to the right-hand side. Cyclones just again pushing some Queens back. This constant pressure is really nice here, as we do have Roaches, Ravagers, and Hydras heading towards the top as well. A couple Corrosive Biles to drop, and we are going to be seeing these supply depots continue to get picked away at the moment. So supply depots continue to go down. One supply depot left here on the far right-hand side. It will fall as well. A few more Corrosive Biles don't quite connect just yet. One more Bile. We're still going to be seeing these Roaches and Ravagers. Again, another few Corrosive Biles just thrown up into the sky here. Pulling back down to the south. He actually intercepts the Cyclones heading home. Snute didn't commit with this, and he didn't need to because his Vipers are on the way. But it was a nice way to keep the Terran player back at home. It pulled that Cyclone drop away from his base for a little while for once. And we are going to be seeing these units continue to come down to the south side. Again, those Vipers are going to be continuing on up right here. We do have a 5th base from Snute will establish itself in the bottom left-hand corner. So Snute continue to expand, and I would like to say once again that it feels like Snute is in control of the game, but I said that last time, and obviously it was kind of a little bit terrifying to see Clem turn it around. This time, well, Snute is coming up this right-hand side of the map with some Vipers in tow. So some Vipers here potentially able to come on in, swoop through, and throw a couple of blinding clouds down. Professor Bars will go up in the skies, pushes those Marines backwards already. And we are going to be seeing Snute again, just backing away. Just waiting until he's really ready for his full-on fight here once again. 2 Medivacs load up. They're going to head over to the left-hand side right now. So 2 Medivacs will come on over to the left. The Spire coming up in the back of the Natural. 2-2 about to finish up from Clem as well. All of Snoot's Hive upgrades starting up. Adrenal Glands +3/+3. Power and Tunnel Close on Hive Tech, but there's even more upgrades to add to the list. Spire on the way. Bane and Nest on the way. I mean, obviously no Ultras, Cavan. If you're Roach Ravager, he generally doesn't tend to go into Ultras. He'll just play straight for Broodlords, because this army is kind of stopping power enough without the Ultras to survive until Broodlords come up, and especially if you just kill 20 supply like that. 2 Medivacs full of units go down. That's an expensive loss from Clem here, because he gains absolutely nothing from that. So that really isn't how he envisioned things going, I imagine. As we'll see some more tanks sieging up in the center. Bane and Nest going to be finishing in a few moments here from Snute as well. Spainless finishes. Roaches, a Ravager, a couple Hydras continue to get set up right now. This Overseer also just going to be moving on through and just sees the army will actually go down. Whether that was intentional, well, I'm sure he didn't want to lose the Overseer, but I wonder if he just didn't quite know the army was going to be so far forwards. As you will see, the Vipers staying safe. Snute is maxed out. Again, he's happy not to kind of fully commit in just yet, because, you know, he didn't have the Vipers on full energy. But now, of course, it's a little bit different, and he sees the opportunity, gets some good blinding clouds, and he can start to take a fight here. Corrosive Powers will help to clean up the siege tanks. And of course, Snute has the bank to remax on as well. I sort of thought he might want to try and buy some time until his Greater Spire finishes. You know, just sort of say, well, you know what, there's not really much need for me to fight before then, because, you know, I can just wait, and then when I remax, I have Broodlords. But I think he realized that with the Vipers on full energy, he may as well make some use of it, and this fight went very well for him indeed, and Clem was just not able to hold on. As Snute backs away from this one, his Vipers will go gather more energy, but Clem is reset to 3 bases. His 4th going to have to be re-established here, new planetary fortress, and this time around, there is going to be a Greater Spire coming up from Snute. There is going to be Broodlords en route, and Clem, how much is he going to be kicking himself for that Cyclone and 6 Hellions that were just down on this left-hand side, not doing anything, when if they'd just come into the main, this would have been cleaned up so much sooner, he would have lost so many less workers. It could have been the game-changer. More units coming up the right-hand side now. Clem, can he hold on to this right here? As you are going to be seeing the siege tank and a ghost on the way up at the moment. More of these units continue to come in towards the upper right side, thinking about how they want to attack into this army potentially. Feelings already in a little bit of trouble here, as we are going to see those lings jumping on top of the siege tank, and here we go. Actually, this army's going to commit. The tanks go down just like that, and this is already looking a little bit nasty, as we're going to be seeing some more corrosive boughs dropping in from the skies. We see this planetary fortress is going to be in some trouble too. It's going to be picked away at. More corrosive boughs. The 4th base killed again. And again, this time Snute backs away, same as last time. Get the Viper energy. He's still got a good bank. Clem's still not able to properly mine. And again, I'm just surprised we haven't seen the Corruptors and the Broodlords yet, because I just feel as though it's a very easy way to, you know, get this, you know, to set up into something which could work out for him. Just going to be seeing those Vipers consuming up on this base in the bottom side. Hatchery and an Extractor getting drained here of health for the energy on the Vipers. And remember, after this, guys, we have Snute versus DNS, some ZvP action, followed by, I believe, I think it's Clem versus DNS before we go into Clem versus Bly as our final live series of the day. We do have some matches from replays to cast afterwards as well, so really, this is only our 2nd series of this tournament, and it really has given us a nice long set of games, and it's been pretty nice to watch as we see a mass set of abducts on the medevacs. This time the main base orbital tries to come down on the 4th, but it will not really be able to do all too much, and Clem knows it. GG. Snute takes game 3, and he's able to, well, stabilize